Hello YouTube, it has been a hot minute since I've made a video. I have gotten married in the time since I made my last video, surprise. And I've moved to New York City. So yeah, a lot has changed. So I decided I was just gonna kind of do like a little bit of a life update, a little bit of story time. So I asked you guys what you guys would want to know, and so now I have all the questions and I'm going to be answering them. Okay, so I feel like the most asked question was just in general, how is married life and like how is it different from being like a girlfriend or even engaged? And for me, like each stage was obviously completely different. So far though, married life has been wonderful. It's crazy how much you grow together and learn from one another in just like a short period of time. But obviously like I haven't been married long enough to like give advice on it. It's been like 2 months. But I would say like whoa, I just shook this table. But one of the biggest differences obviously from dating to being married for me is obviously we live together now. We did not live together before. I personally was waiting for marriage, and so being with each other 24/7 now is completely different. So that takes some time getting adjusted to, even though it is really wonderful getting to be with the person that you love 24/7. But now you have to get used to like sleeping in the same bed as somebody. Like if he doesn't snore, think, gosh, I would have died. So that's a real plus, unexpected surprise, very happy about that. But yeah, you have to get used to sleeping in the same room as somebody, like sharing a bathroom with somebody. And then for me, like I love cooking, so I always make breakfast for him, I pack his lunch, obviously I make dinner too, so housewife, no. But it's really, honestly, it's been wonderful, even though it has been so drastically different. I would just say the biggest is living together. It's a big step, y'all. A lot of people were asking about kids too, which of course we want kids in the future, but we're not planning on having them anytime soon. We love kids so much. We want about 5 kids, which is crazy. I think it's really funny to like tell some of Luke's friends whenever we're out to eat. I'm like, oh yeah, we want like 5 kids. And it's my favorite thing to like watch their face, like look at me and then they look at Luke like, do you know this? But no, of course, Luke loves kids as well. And honestly, that may change after we have 1 or 2 kids. And if they're psycho, maybe not 5 kids. But you know, God forbid we don't have them for another 3 or 5 years, like knock on wood. Luke, don't get me pregnant. End of story. But a lot of people also asked kind of, you know, about the age difference and how that goes along with having kids. And I'm only 21, so I've got plenty of time. No rush whatsoever. And usually, you know, for men, they can have kids, you know, later in life too, and they're still fine. The kids are normal, they're okay, they're healthy and happy. So there's no rush. We're just, you know, enjoying marriage, traveling, going on new adventures with one another. And honestly, like we're still learning about each other too. And I think that's really important to really get to know the person before you start creating them, like little miniature people. So yes. Okay, so I think one of the biggest asked questions was, what are we doing in New York City? And the main answer to that question is Luke works here. So that's why I'm here. After we got married, I moved in, and I've been like, you know, slowly adjusting. It's been a month and a half since I've been here now, and the weather hasn't been as cold as it usually is in February, which I'm super happy about. Being from Texas, the cold weather is not my thing, and it never will be my thing. I walk here a lot. Like yesterday I walked like 7 miles. So getting used to all the walking instead of hopping in a car and like driving somewhere has probably been like the biggest thing that I've had to adjust to. And also just, you know, like Luke's work schedule. A lot of you asked like what he does. He was working prior in LA. He had his own company with one of his friends from Harvard Business School. and they kind of got like bought off as talent, and now they work at this fund, and Luke works in like the private equity consumer wing. I'm horrible at explaining this, but basically they work with like the stock market and their finance guys. Luke is super smart, top of his class at Harvard, humble brag. But for me, it's also been great just because I've modeled pretty much the past like 5 years. So it's great. New York is a big spot for modeling. So I'm slowly kind of entering back into that market, which is fun. Just kind of like redoing my book and then working with my agency back at home to schedule appointments for agencies here. So it's been this whole little process, but it's going slowly but surely. And kind of like in the meanwhile, I have been helping Luke a lot with his stuff out on the ranch. They have a ranch in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where they do a lot of weddings, which is so much fun because that was my minor in school. And yes, I did graduate. For those of you who were asking, I am a communication major and my minor was in event planning. So with that, I get to kind of help with some of the weddings out there, and there's some of the cool events that they've had, like they had the Kardashians film an episode out there. They had Kanye do his album release, and a lot of huge companies go up there for like horse demos. So there's always something fun going on, and we have like a lot of other really, really fun things planned, which I'm super excited about. Luke and I get to do it together, and it's really fun for him to just have a creative outlet after being, you know, cooped up in an office literally all day long. So that's kind of what we've been doing up here. One of the questions that I really liked was some advice that I would have for you guys who are going to college, and then also, you know, how I graduated so early. And to answer those questions, I was able to graduate really early due to me just honestly not liking school and being really, really persistent about getting out as fast as possible. So every single summer I planned to take summer classes just because like I knew at the beginning of college like it was not going to be my thing. So that's really what I focused on, was just taking as many hours as possible. And y'all, it's really not even that bad to take summer classes because honestly I found the summer classes to be the easiest. And then some advice I would have for you guys going into college, something that I did is I set a standard for myself going in, and a couple of those were obviously, you know, I saved myself for marriage, so I was never going to compromise that. And then number 2, I wasn't going to drink. And then number 3, that I was going to go to church every single Sunday that I could. And with that, like, since I had those boundaries and standards set for myself before I even went, it was never even something that I would let anyone debate with me about and that I would never question. So I would just say, lay out what you want at the beginning and just know that you're not going to let anybody say anything about it. All right, now time to talk about Mrs. Pageants. So many people asked me if I was going to be doing a Mrs. Pageant. And y'all, honestly, I feel like Mrs. Pageants are for like women who are a little bit older than I am. Like I'm only 21. I don't want to do a Mrs. Pageant. And honestly, I'm not sure if I ever see myself doing a pageant again. I am really content with the titles that I did win. And I just really am not sure if I feel the need to like go for more. Yeah, I'm just really content being Mrs. Long. I don't want to be Mrs. anything else. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, that's really what I've been up to, just getting married and moving to New York, you know, just a little thing. But I am gonna post a video of kind of Luke and I's story of how we met, and then obviously our wedding video, so I won't really take time to talk about those 2 things because those 2 things would take a really, really long time in and of itself. So I'll just make separate videos for them, but I appreciate you guys for asking lots of questions and for watching this video. And if you have any more questions, feel free to comment them below and I will try my very best to answer them in the comments. But yeah, please subscribe to my channel and follow me on Insta. So see you guys soon. Bye.